Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Toyo Silabeldo. I want to believe you can all hear me clearly. Um, I'm a licensed immigration consultant in Canada, and today we're going to be talking about the caregiver program. There's a program that Canada just started sometimes this year, and a lot of people have been asking me so many questions about this program. And the office decided to put an interactive session where we can actually discuss the program, and you have the opportunity to ask all your questions about the program. Now, before I start, I just want to explain how this session is going to go. I will actually make a short presentation. After the presentation, then you have the opportunity to ask your questions. It's going to be a short presentation. It's not going to take so long at all. At the end of that, you'll be able to ask me questions and I'll be able to answer all your questions. But I'm sure that a lot of the questions you want to ask would also have been taken care of in my presentation. So as I said earlier, my name is Toyo Silabeldo. I'm a licensed immigration consultant in Canada. And today we are speaking to you from our Canada office. We have a head office in Canada. I work with TrueLink Immigration Services. I'm one of the managing partners of the company. And TrueLink was actually established to help you to start a new life of opportunity in Canada. Our head office is based in Edmonton, Canada, and we have a branch office in Ibadan. We have actually assisted so many people to migrate to Canada, and we work with licensed immigration consultants. We are not just regular agents. We are licensed by the Canadian government to do what we do. So you can be sure that your work is being handled or will be handled by professionals. I'll briefly talk a little about the services that we render. There are so many programs that you can actually use to migrate to Canada. In fact, there are over 60 programs that you can actually use to migrate to Canada. And I'll just summarize all of them into groups. So we could use a study visa to come to Canada. If you want to come and study, you can come to Canada and study, and we actually have a study to immigrate plan. We also have different programs that allows you to become a permanent resident. We have the express entry program. We can use that for you. We also have work permits. We can help you get a work permit from anywhere you are in the world. We do visas for people all over the world. So if you come from an eligible country, we can assist you to get a work permit to come and work in Canada. If you also have a spouse in Canada and you want to, if your husband is in Canada or your wife is in Canada and you want to bring your spouse from anywhere in the world to Canada, we can help you by doing a spousal sponsorship for you. The same thing for parents. If you have your parents outside Canada and you want to bring them into Canada, we can actually help you sponsor your parents. So we do spousal and parental sponsorship. We also help with tourist visas. So if you want to come to Canada for holiday, or you have friends here that you want to come and visit, or you have families in Canada that you want to visit, we can actually help you process a tourist visa. Another visa that we also do is the entrepreneur visa. This one is for people that want to come and invest in Canada. We can actually help you process that too. We also have the refugee class. That's for those that want to seek asylum. If you are here and you want to seek asylum, we can help you with the process. Then we have the self-employed class. We can also help you with that visa. And finally, we also have the caregiver program, which is what we are talking about today. So today we're going to discuss extensively on the caregiver program. So what is the caregiver program all about? It's actually a 5-year pilot that started June 18th, 2019. Previously, we have had different types of caregiver program that Canada government has introduced. We have the living caregiver and so many other types. But all those programs have been closed. They now started a new one 18th of June this year. And this one is to replace the old caregiver program. This caregiver program allows qualified caregivers to come to Canada and also allows them to come with their family. The previous programs did not actually allow caregivers to come with their families. It only allows them to come alone. But this new program allows you to migrate to Canada and also come along with your family. Who is a caregiver? A caregiver is someone that actually provides care for someone else. So if you can provide care for children, for the elderly, for those that are sick, or for persons that are living with disability. So if you can work in that, if you can do any of that kind of work where you are actually helping children below 18 years of age, you're helping seniors or those that are elderly, or those that have one illness or the other, or persons living with disability, you can come into Canada and work as a caregiver. The new pilot program has two categories. We have one that we call the Home Child Care Provider Pilots. That category is for those that want to come into Canada and take care of children. We call it the Home Child Care Provider Pilots. So this is purely for those that want to come into Canada and take care of children. The second one that we have is the Home Support Worker Pilots. This one is not just for children, but for those that want to come in to take care of the elderly, the sick, or those that are living with disability. So right now, these are the two pilot programs that Canada has: the Home Child Care Provider Pilots and the Home Support Worker Pilots. What is unique about this new program? It has some unique characteristics that makes it very interesting and makes it easy for people to come on board using this program. The first thing about it is that the previous programs, employers need to apply for an LMIA before they can employ caregivers. But this new program, you don't need to apply. Employers do not need to apply for LMIA. What is LMIA? LMIA is Labor Market Impact Assessments. Normally, previously, if you want to bring in a caregiver, you need to apply to ESDC to ask for an LMIA. But with the new pilots, that's stopped. You don't need to apply for LMIA. And LMIA previously will cost you $1,000 to do the application. But right now, you don't have to pay anything and you don't even have to apply for that. Then the other unique thing about this application, this program, is that it comes with a work permit, which is occupation specific. And what do I mean by that? When you come in with this work permit, you are allowed to work in that occupation as a caregiving occupation. The previous program was employer specific. So when an employer files for you, maybe files an LMIA for you, and they want to give you work permits, the Canada government wants to give you work permits, they'll give you an employer specific work permit. This means that you cannot work for any other employer except that employer. But the new caregiver program is different. It is now occupation specific, which means that you can work for another employer. I'll give an example. If someone sponsored you, someone gave you work permits, someone gave you a job offer, and you're able to get a work permit to come in under the new program. If you're not satisfied with the employer, after a while, you can move to another. If you get another employer, you can change your job. You can go to another employer, and that employer will just give you a job offer, and you can continue your job. Unlike the previous one, where you cannot change your job like that. You cannot move from one employer to the other. But this new program, you are free to move from one employer to another as long as you have a job offer from that employer. So this is one of the unique characteristics of this new program. Then for each year, Canada expects to take 2,750 applicants, main applicants, for each of the category. So for home child care provider pilots, in a year, Canada will take 2,750. For the home support worker pilots, Canada will also take 2,750. This does not actually include the dependents that would come with the applicants. So the 2,750 for each category is just about the main applicant alone. So for each year, that's the quota that Canada has fixed for this child caregiver program. One other unique characteristic of this program is that you can travel your family. Canada actually loves family reunification. The previous program did not allow the caregivers, the living caregivers, to come to Canada with their families. But now you can actually come with your family, and we can actually process the application together with your family. Unlike before, when you cannot even apply with your family, you have to come alone here stay alone here, work alone here, and at the end of the day, you have to keep traveling to your country to see your family. But right now, you can come with your family. You can process your visas, your work permits with your family. If you process, when we process the option with your family, your spouse can get an open work permit, which allows him or her to work anywhere. And your kids can also get study permits if they are of school age, or if they are not of school age, they can, if they are eligible for work permit also, they can also get a work permit. So that's one of the unique characteristics of the new program. Then one other thing about it is you don't need to get proof of funds. A lot of clients are actually bothered about getting proof of funds to finance their travel. But for this program, because you are supposed to get a job offer before you travel, it's not compulsory that you must provide proof of funds. So it saves you that burden of having to run around to get proof of funds for your visa process. You don't need to show any proof of funds for this program, especially since you already have a job offer. And your spouse too will also be given a work permit, which allows open work permit that allows him or her to work in Canada. The processing time for this new program is about an average of about 12 months. And one other characteristic of this program is that it also requires low-level English qualification. A lot of people are actually scared of English language requirements for migration, but this caregiver program, the caregiver program has a low-level requirement for English. What you expect to have is a CLB5. CLB5 is Canada's language benchmark. That's meaning of CLB. So if you are coming in through the caregiver program, you expect to have CLB5. Unlike the other skilled worker programs where the minimum you're supposed to have is 7, and at times you're even supposed to have like 9. So what's CLB5? CLB5 means that in the reading exam, if you score 4, you're okay. In the speaking, you must have 5, listening 5, writing also 5. So if you have 4 in reading and 5 in listening, writing, and speaking, that's CLB5. That is actually quite low compared with what other programs require. One other unique thing about it is there are different programs, there are different categories. Previous experience as a caregiver is not actually compulsory. So even if you don't have the work experience as a caregiver, you can migrate through this program, because experience as a caregiver, a previous experience as a caregiver is not a compulsory requirement. If you have the experience, good. If you don't have the experience, you can still use to migrate. The most important thing about it is you getting a job offer in Canada, getting someone to give you a job offer. So either you have worked with children or not, either you have worked with people with disability, either you have worked with people with the elderly, it does not matter. Either you have work experience, previous work experience as a caregiver or not, you can actually migrate using this program. And one other thing about it is you can also live with your employer if you want, but this time around it is not compulsory. We had a program before where they call that the Living Caregiver Program. That program, caregivers live in their employer's house. But in this instance, in this situation, it is not compulsory that you must live in your employer's house. If your employer has enough rooms and is willing to accommodate you in his house, beautiful. But if you can also afford your own accommodation by yourself, you can get a place by yourself, it's not actually compulsory that you must live in your employer's house in this new caregiver program. What are the requirements? The first requirements, there are not so much requirements, but I'll just talk briefly about a few requirements that you must have to apply for this program. The first requirement is that you must get a job offer from an employer in Canada. That's one major requirement that everybody must meet. How do you go about this? I'm sure many of us have friends, we have relatives, or if we don't have friends, we have a friend that has a friend that may also have a friend who lives in Canada. So I'm sure many of them too will have kids that they want or they need a caregiver for. You can actually contact them, talk to them. So if you can get a job offer from anybody in Canada, it's quite unlike a formal work. What I mean by that is, if you have a family that needs a caregiver, you can talk with them and they can give you, if they can give you a job offer as a caregiver, you can come into Canada as a caregiver. So it's not as if you must go through an agency or you have to work in a formal setting. No, caregivers many times work in homes of their employers, or they work in their own homes. Maybe the employer brings their kids to the caregivers' homes. So you can actually get a job offer from anybody who is a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen of Canada. All you just need to do is find out who do you know in Canada who can give you this job offer. There are so many people that live in Canada, so definitely you should be able to look for someone who will give you a job offer. The other requirement is that you must score CLB5 in the language tests. There are different types of language tests that you can do. IELTS is one of them, CELPIC, and so many other ones. But you must ensure that you have a CLB5. And I said that earlier. CLB5 for IELTS is 4 in reading, 5 in listening, 5 in writing, and 5 in speaking. That's actually a very low band score. The one other requirement for this program is that you must have a minimum of 1 year post-secondary school qualification. 1 year, minimum of 1 year post-secondary school qualification. This implies that if you have graduated from secondary school, if you have done maybe like NCE, or you have done an OND, or you have a BSc, or you have a master's, that's already more than 1 year, you are eligible to apply for this program. The minimum requirement is 1 year post-secondary. So if you have more than 1 year post-secondary, you are still eligible. And if you had your degree in Canada, beautiful, you don't have to do educational credentialing for it. But if your degree was gotten outside Canada, you must use one of the designated bodies that Canada designated to assess your credentials and see how comparable it is to the Canada standard. So there are so many bodies that help with that. We have WELS, we have HICAS, and so many other ones that you can use to assess your credentials to confirm that it's comparable to the Canada standard. Then the final requirement that I'd like to talk about is you must be admissible to Canada. When we talk of admissibility to Canada, it means that you don't have any criminal record, and also you don't have any medical issue that would limit you from coming to work in Canada. You have to undergo a medical test before you move to Canada. You have to also undergo police clearance. That would actually help to confirm whether you have a criminal issue or a medical issue. If you can meet up all these criteria, I'm telling you, within the next 12 months, you should be on your way to Canada. I mentioned earlier that the work experience, this program has different levels of work experience. You have a category that does not even have previous work experience in Canada. You can also apply for the program. You have another category for those that have less than 24 months work experience in Canada as a caregiver. You can apply. Then we have another category that is for those that already have more than maybe 24 months or more than 24 months work experience as a caregiver. Those are the 3 categories of people that can apply. I'm sure there are a lot of people under the first category that would like to apply, and this is the category where you don't have any previous work experience as a caregiver. Canada understands that you can apply either if you have the work experience, beautiful, and the work experience can actually be paid or unpaid. So it's not as if you must show proof that it's paid employment. Either if you have the work experience, either you are paid for it or you are a volunteer and you are not paid for it, you can use it to come to Canada and work using the caregiver program. How much do caregivers earn in Canada? Well, it's a range, but I tell you, nobody earns less than the minimum wage. But for my research, I found out that The average salary for caregiver is about 25,392 Canadian dollars per annum. You can multiply that. If you multiply that, I don't know, can someone do that for us? If you multiply that by, let's use 280, you can have an idea of what that value will be in Naira. The average salary for a caregiver is about 25,392 Canadian dollars. And at the rate of a Canadian dollar to 280 Canadian dollars, that will be about a little above 7 million Naira per annum. And that's the average salary. If you are earning the high end, if you are earning the high end salary, you can get as much as 34,240 Canadian dollars. And that's in Naira. If you use the rate of 280 Naira to 1 Canadian dollars, it can also be about 9,597,000 Naira or thereabouts. So that's just like the average salary that a caregiver gets in Canada. Now, what do we do for you guys? What do we do for our clients? How do we help our clients achieve their goals? I said earlier on, we have a head office in Canada, and our head office is based in Edmonton. We are at number 39816 47 Avenue, Edmonton, in Alberta. That's the capital of Alberta. We are well positioned to actually assist you to use this program to migrate. What do we do for our client? The first thing we'll do is actually we'll assess your profile to be sure that you're actually eligible for the program. We'll help you check. We'll check everything, but we don't want you to spend a lot of money or stay so long for like 12 months, and at the end of the day, they tell you that you're not eligible for the program. It doesn't make sense to us. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll assess you to actually find out if you are eligible for the program. We'll look at your profile. We'll ask you to fill some forms. We'll look at your profile and we'll use that to assess you and confirm if you are actually eligible to apply for this program. After you have done that, already, we'll guide you in meeting the minimum requirement for the program. We have seen your profile. We have an idea of what you have. We have seen your CV. We know what you have. We have an office in Canada, and we work with licensed consultants who are knowledgeable about what they do. So we would actually look at your profile and guide you to ensure that you present the right documents, and whatever documentation you are presenting, we'll look at it thoroughly, we'll analyze it, we'll look at it well to be sure that it will actually give us the results that we want to get, which is you getting your visa. It doesn't make sense to us that after spending so much money and you have also waited for so long time, at the end of the day, you are refused because of one little error or the other. So you can make sure that we will look at all that from the beginning and ensure that errors like that will not be in your application. Even the forms that you have to fill for the application, there are so many of them. We know all of them. We'll guide you to fill all of them. Apart from guiding you, we'll go through it and review it. Our consultants in Canada here will review all the forms that we have filled to be sure that there are no errors. Even your offer of employment, your job offer, will review the contract with you, so we are sure that it meets the minimum standard. There are so many questions on it on the job offer that if you're not careful, if they're not well filled, or if someone that is not experienced about it assists to fill it, they can use that to refuse your application. So we will help with all that to ensure that you get it right and you fill the forms right. One of the things that we do is for those that already have families and friends in Canada who can give them a job offer, that's fine. We'll help you to review the contracts. But for those that do not have, we can also help you. We have links here. We can link you up with so many sites or people who are actually looking to hire caregivers. So we'll give you links where you can actually search, and through that link, you might be able to get someone who will hire you. Then all the things that you have to do. I'll give you an example. Some of the things you have to do to ensure that an employer picks you from maybe a pool or from anywhere you have placed your CV. We'll guide you on it. Some of the things we tell people to do is, even though it's not a major requirement, is first aid certification and CPR. We advise many of our clients to go and do that because, one, in Canada, you want to be sure that if there's an emergency, the caregiver knows what to do. And you want to also ensure that the caregiver is well versed in first aid, just in case something happens and he or she should be able to administer first aid to whoever is taken care of. So all those things that we know about based on our previous experience and all the other options that we have done would actually assist you to fill your forms right. And at the end of the day, you will get it right, and the chances of you getting your visa is very high. Then I said earlier, when you have gotten a job offer, we'll review the contract for you and ensure that it meets the minimum requirements. Then we're going to assist you to apply for a work permit. The process for work for the caregiver program is 2 stages. The first stage is applying for a work permit. Canada will first give you a 3-year work permit. Then, when they give you a 3-year work permit, within 2 years, if you have met the minimum requirement of having worked for 24 months as a caregiver, you can actually apply for permanent residence. But we're actually submitting all these options together at once. So what we're going to do is would assist you to apply for the work permits, and also apply for open work permits for your spouse, and maybe work permits for your kids, depending on their age, and or maybe study permits for them, also depending on their age. So those are some of the things that will also help you do. Now, apart from that, we also follow you up. It doesn't make sense that you come to Canada for 2 years or come to Canada for 3 years, and at the end of the day, you go back to where you came from. A lot of people are using this program, want to come to Canada, and they want to stay. And that's one of our goals. We assist people who are in Canada to remain in Canada. So what we also do is I will follow you up within the 2 years to ensure that you are meeting up with the minimum requirements, because we still want to assist you and want to also ensure that you get your final goal, which is permanent residence. So we're going to follow you up in between the process to ensure that within that 2 years, or at worst within the 3 years, you have all the requirements that you can use to apply for permanent residence. And we will always be there to assist you to apply for that also. That's part of what you are paying also, or retaining our services for. So we not only help you apply for work permits now, which allows you to work in Canada for 3 years, but at the same time, when it's 2 years, when you have spent 2 years in Canada, we will also help you apply for permanent residence. Those are some of the things you get with us. If you need more details about this, there's so many things that you can do. We advise that you book a consultation. It's better so that we can actually use that to look at your profile individually, and we'll be able to give one of our consultants here, or our consultant here will be able to give you personalized information. We'll look at your profile, and on that basis, what we are talking now is just general. A lot of people have things that are personal to them. They have details that are personal to them, and at the end of the day, when you look at the way I process mine may be different from the way you process yours. The documents you might want to bring, even though they look similar, but I may have different documentations to provide than you, or you may have different things that you have to provide, even though they are still similar. But we are going to assess your profile and look at each of them individually and advise you on the best way to go about it. So if you want to book a consultation, we advise that you can book it on our website, or if you can't book it on our website, you can actually make a call to our office, either the Canada head office or the Nigerian office, the one in Ibadan. You can go to any of those offices or call any of those offices and book a consultation so that we can discuss your circumstances one-on-one. And when we discuss that, we'll be able to look at your profile and decide on the best way to go about it. And even if you feel that, I told you, this is one program, there are still so many other programs that you can use to migrate to Canada. If we see that the profile is better on another program, we'll tell you about it. That's why we are consultants. We'll review your profile, tell you about it, and advise you on the best way that you can use to migrate. You can, I said earlier, you can call any of our offices or visit any of our offices, or you can book it on our website. Our website is www.truelinktravel.com. The True doesn't have an E. TruLinkTravel. TruelinkTravel.com. That's our website. I'm sure if you look up on this page, you'll see our phone numbers and our website on it, and you can contact us either through the website too. You can get a lot of details on the website, about our information and we can go on. So I'd like to, okay, before I go on to question and answers, I would also like to inform us that whatever fee, the consultation comes at a cost. It's not free of charge. Consultation is 25,000 naira for 30 minutes consultation. But whatever fee that you paid for consultation will be removed from your processing fee when you retain our services. So it's actually a win-win for you. You are paying for a consultation to discuss how to discuss your eligibility and so many things about your circumstances with a licensed consultant. But when you pay us when you retain our services, we'll actually remove that money from your processing fee. So it's as good as you're just making a deposit for us to start your work. So before I would like to move on to the question and answer. If you have any question, I would like that you type it. I would just answer the questions as you are writing one by one, so we can pick it from there. Okay, I've seen some questions. People are already asking questions. Okay, someone said, getting to Canada, can I further my studies? Well, if you come to Canada as a caregiver, it's a full-time job. You're supposed to work for 30 hours per week. So if you have to study, really, if the course you want to study is more than 6 months, you must apply for a study permit. But if the course of study you want to study is less than 6 months, you can study. But if it's not more than 6 months, you must apply. You cannot study without getting a study permit. But once you have become a permanent resident, you can actually study for as long as you like. That limitation is removed. So, but if you are coming to Canada as a caregiver, you are not allowed to study without a study permit when the course of study that you are coming for is more than 6 months. But if it's less than 6 months, yes, you can study. Someone said, what's the procedure? The procedure, the first thing you need to do that I encourage you to do is book a consultation so we can analyze your profile and we can assess you and advise you on the best way to go about it. The procedure, it's better to do that so that you will not waste time and money. I said it earlier on that the processing time can be up to 12 months. So imagine you not knowing whether you're eligible for the program, or maybe you're not eligible for a program and you apply for the program. You're not likely going to get a result until after 12 months. So if you're not properly assessed from the beginning to be sure that you're eligible to apply and you're not advised properly, you would pay, wait for like 12 months, and at the end of the day, your visa may be refused. So the first thing you need to do is book a consultation so that we can discuss your eligibility. And once we discuss that, we can actually advise you on the best way to go about it. Someone said, how do we get a job? I mentioned that earlier, that for you to get a job, if you have friends in Canada, you can talk to them. If you have relatives in Canada, you can talk to them. If you retain our service too, we can also link you up with people who require caregivers in Canada. We have a head office in Canada. We have an office in Canada, so we can actually link you up with that. And we also have so many links that will give to you that would allow you to apply for a job as a caregiver. And what you need to do to ensure that an employer takes you, we'll tell you about it, we'll guide you about all that, and you can be sure that if you follow our guidance, you should be able to get someone to employ you as a caregiver. Okay, if someone give us the value of, okay, this is the price for the salaries of a caregiver. What is the rate per hour? The rate per hour for caregiver, it depends. There are different provinces. Each province has their rates. Some pay as low as $13, while some pay as high as $25 per hour. So it depends. So it depends on the number of it depends on the province you are in, and the minimum wage in that province. Someone asks that, can caregiver jobs come from any location in Canada? Yes, caregiver jobs for this pilot program, it can come from any location except Quebec. This program is not applicable in Quebec. They have their own program. So all other provinces and territories in Canada minus Quebec, you can use this program there. So if you have friends in Ontario, if you have friends in Yukon, if you have friends in Alberta, anywhere, or families anywhere, if you get a caregiver job anywhere in Canada minus Quebec, you can use this program to migrate to Canada. Someone asked that, is midwifery allowed? There's no anybody in my own understanding, anybody can apply. And why I said that is because the requirement says get a job offer. What you need is you must have a minimum of 1 year post-secondary education. So if you have gone to secondary school and you passed secondary school and you had maybe a 1 year program or a 2 year program or a 3 year program, I'm aware that midwifery is about 2 years. So definitely midwifery, someone that studied midwifery can actually apply. Since this said, is midwifery allowed? It's not occupation restricted. They're not saying you must have work experience in a field to apply. Although the home support worker may require that kind of specialized skill. Home support workers are people that work with persons living with disability. They work with the elderly and they work with the sick people. So if what you have to do is a bit specialized, then you might require some other certification. But for the home child care provider pilot, no, anybody can actually do it as long as you have the minimum requirement, which is 1 year post-secondary education. Someone asks, can someone apply for the express entry program and the provincial program and this caregiver program all at the same time? Yes. If you have the resources, you can do it. If you have resources, you can apply to all the programs. But for us as immigration consultants, licensed consultants in Canada, we will sit you down and advise you. We'll be able to look at your profile and we'll be able to advise you on the best way that you should go instead of wasting all your resources applying to federal, provincial, caregiver program. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So what we can do is we would assess your profile, look at what you have. Based on our experience, we'll be able to advise you and tell you the best way to go about it, tell you the best program that you can use. And because of the experience we've had with many other clients and experience too in what we are doing, we are likely going to be able to give you a very good advice in that regard. So you'll not just be wasting resources applying to all the programs. We'll be able to apply to the one that we are sure fits your profile and the one that you're likely going to get a higher chance of being taken. Yeah, someone said, must the employer prove that they are not able to get a Canadian for the job before offering to people from outside Canada? Outside. This is a very good question. I addressed this earlier on. I said the previous caregiver program requires that you get LMIA, which is Labor Market Impact Assessment. But this new program does not require that. So this new program does not require your employer trying to prove to the Canadian government that they didn't get anybody in Canada. In fact, let me tell you this. Let me give you an example. Many Canadians will not do caregiving jobs, and the government is aware that we need caregivers in Canada. Consider a situation whereby the two parents are working. You need someone to take care of the kids when they have gone to work. So that's why Canada is a bit flexible with this program. And that's why they came up with this program. And that's why it's a pilot. There's 5-year pilots. They want to see how the program is going to look like in 5 years. Then it's possible that after the 5 years, if it's successful, they can now make it a full program. They've been trying so many programs like that in the past for caregivers, but this is a 5-year pilot that just started. And I'm sure that if it's done well and it's very successful, they will leave the program. Caregivers are needed in Canada. A lot of people need people to help them with their kids, to help them take care of their elderly ones, the seniors, and to help them take care of people that are sick. But for this program, you do not need, your employer does not need to prove to the government of Canada that he has tried to get someone in Canada he didn't see that he's not trying to take you from outside Canada. No. The whole program, yes, you must show that. But this program, no. You can apply for it without you applying for LMIA. How much for this caregiver? How much for this caregiver? What can you expatiate more on this your question? How much for the caregiver? Am I paying for my flights? Okay, someone asked that, is he paying for it? Please let me clarify. Jack, please let me clarify your question so I can answer it. I'll come back to it again, please. Someone asked that, am I paying for my flights? If you are lucky, officially, really, you're supposed to pay for your flights. But if you are lucky to get an employer who is willing to sponsor you, you might get an employer who is willing to pay for your flights and pay for everything that you need to do. If you get an employer that is willing to pay all that, your employer would not remove all that from your salary. No, they will not remove that from your salary. So if you are lucky that you have an employer who is willing to pay for all that, then good. So it's possible. It's very possible to get an employer that will pay for your flight. Someone said, my brother-in-law is a citizen in Canada. Can they give me an employer offer as a caregiver? It's possible. It's possible, but the employer too must meet some minimum requirements. We can help you. We can actually help you assess that to be sure that your employer too will meet the minimum requirements of an employer. It's not as if everybody can just come and say, I'm an employer, let me take a caregiver. There are some things too that the employer too must show that is capable of paying the caregiver. So we can actually help you on that to assess your employer and be sure that he will be eligible to give you that job offer, so that, because we don't actually want your visa to be refused at the end of the day. So what we're going to do is we'll assess his profile and see all the possible questions that they can ask to confirm that he can actually employ you. So your brother-in-law can employ you if you meet all the requirements. But at the same time, it's a bit tricky, because the consular or the officer who is assessing your work will want to be sure that the job offer is genuine. So there are things that we will look at when we are filling your forms, and there are things that we're going to write to support your application that will help to clarify all that. So when you do a more detailed conversation with us, we'll be able to discuss that with you and tell you how to go about that. Yeah, someone said, is the consultation free? No, consultation is not free. I mentioned earlier that consultation is 25,000 naira or $80 for 30 minutes. So, but I said earlier too that when you retain our services, whatever you paid for consultation will be removed from your processing fee. So technically, it's still free, because whatever you pay for consultation, when you retain our services, will be, if your processing is 200,000 and you are paid 25,000 consultation, at the end of the day, what you pay is 105,000. So that's the fee. It's 25,000 for a 30-minute consultation, and during that consultation, you can ask all the questions you want to ask. We can discuss at length. We can look at your profile and actually see how we can use your profile to assist you to migrate to Canada. What are the basic knowledge one needs to have as a caregiver before applying for the job in Canada? I mentioned a few of them. There are so many things. The basic thing you should have is have a minimum of 1 year post-secondary qualification, like NC, OND, HND, BSc, Masters, PhD. Yeah, you can have that. But at the same time, you are also supposed to have first aid certification. It's not compulsory. It's not as if it's compulsory, but people in Canada will want to be sure that whoever they are taking has all those things. If I want to take a caregiver to come to my house, I want to be sure he or she has certificate in first aid, and possible also has certificate in CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, so that if there's an emergency, he or she can actually do something before the medical people come. Yeah, medical team, if one has an emergency, they are just 5 minutes call away, so they are close by. In 5 minutes, I'm sure they will get to your location in Canada. So That's what they should have. Someone said, "Can I get farming jobs in Canada?" This program we're talking about is not for farming. There are programs that are for farmers, but we're not talking about that today. So I will not be able to answer that question today because we're talking about caregiver program today. Someone also asked that for this pilot, is ECA compulsory? Yes, if your certificate is gotten outside Canada, it is compulsory that you must have ECA. You must do ECA. ECA is Educational Credential Assessment. If your certificate is gotten outside Canada, but if you schooled in Canada, you don't need to do ECA. If you school in Canada, you don't need to do ECA. But if your study was outside Canada, you must send it to one of the bodies designated by Canada to help them assess your credential to see whether it's comparable with the standard in Canada. So if you studied outside Canada, you must send your credentials to one of those bodies where they will assess and get back to you to tell you whether it's equivalent to Canada standard or is not. These are my pipe welder. How do we get a job? For this program, for this seminar or this session, we are discussing about the caregiver program, where there are other programs that welders can use to migrate to Canada. We have so many other ones. Stay tuned to our page, like our page, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, so you stay tuned. You would get so for you to get updates when we are discussing all this. We're going to be doing this regularly every week. So you will see other programs that you can apply through to doing one of the entire sessions that we're going to be doing. Someone said, "Do your friend or employer have to consult any Canadian organization before offering you appointment letter?" Do your friend or employer, do your employer have to consult any Canadian organization before offering you employment letter? Not really. Well, not really. Yes, I'll say, let me say yes and no. I will explain what I mean by that. You don't really have to contact anybody to give you a job offer. As long as the family is ready to give you a job offer, you can get a job offer. But they have to get a business number from the CRA because they're going to be paying you salary as a caregiver. They need to get a business number from the CRA, but that can be done. We can guide you on all that. That can be done within 1 day. It's a 1 day thing for us. So we can help you with all that. Well, technically, you don't need to consult any Canadian organization. No, you don't have to before you can get the appointment letter. Once you have an employer an employer can be a family, and it could be two families too, who are willing to give you a job offer. We'll guide you on how to fill the forms for that, what has to be in the job offer, everything. We'll guide you on all that. Someone said, "I'm a farmer here in Nigeria and I'm into poultry and cash crop plantation also. Can I get farming jobs in Canada?" I'm sorry about that. Today we're not talking about farming. Stay tuned to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram pages. You would get updated. We'll have one soon for farmers. So just stay tuned to our page. Sir, I need a working visa. All right, sir. We can help you with that. Book a consultation with us. We'll discuss all that. Do we need medical report and police clearance for this program? Yes, you need medical report and police clearance, but you're not going to do the medical report yet. The embassy would request that you go and do medicals. The medical is only valid for 1 year once to do it. So, but you need medical reports. I said earlier that they need to confirm that you are admissible to Canada. And there are two ways they confirm that: criminal admissibility and medical admissibility. So you need to, the police clearance will show that you don't have any criminal history, while the medical will show that you don't have any medical history that requires serious medical attention. And even if you have, if it's not so, there are requirements on that. There are things that we can do on that to guide you and help you beat any issue that you might have. It depends on the issue anyway. It depends on the issue. We might be able to help you, because one issue about Canada is if one of your family member is inadmissible, either through criminality or through medicals, you will not be admissible to Canada. And that's one of the reasons why we advise that you consult or get a licensed immigration consultant to help you with your application, so that all this will be assessed from the beginning, and this will not give you problems later on after you have paid and you are now waiting for the result and they start telling you a lot of things. How long does it take before I get visa, and what are the procedures after making payments to you? How long does it take? It takes about 12 months to process. The current processing time for this visa is 12 months. And what are the procedures after making payments to you? The procedures, I said our head office is in Canada, we have a branch office in Nigeria. So the procedure, once you have made payments, we'll send the forms to you. The forms you need to fill. You sign a retainership agreement first. After you have signed a retainership agreement, we'll we'll give you access to our online portal where you can fill all your details. Our online portal can be accessed anywhere in the world. So either if you're in London, if you're in Australia, Nigeria, or anywhere in the world, you have access to our portal where you can fill the forms. And once you fill the form anywhere you are in the world, we'll see it in our office in Canada. So we'll be able to get all your details and we'll now package your documentations, and we'll do what we should do. That's what you're paying us for. So we'll guide you on all that. Does someone in Lagos have to come to your office in Ibadan for conversation? No, you don't have to come to our office in Ibadan at all. We can do it online. There are so many channels. The world is now a global village. There are so many ways that we can do it. Once you book a conversation, we would actually link up with you and discuss with you how we're going to do it. If we have any of our licensed consultants in Nigeria, yeah, we'll link up with them to do it. And if it's here, we'll link up with them and organize consultation. It could be through phone call, it could be through Skype call, it could be through video calls, WhatsApp call, video. So many ways that we can use. So we'll ask you which one is coming for you, and it could be through normal call. So it depends on which one is coming for you. We'll look at that and schedule the consultation. So you don't have to come to our office in Ibadan at all. In fact, we do consultation all over the world. We consult for people all over the world, people from London, US, consult us, and you don't have to travel down to your Ibadan office or travel down to our Canada office. Anywhere you have, we can consult. Yeah, someone said I've applied for LMIA and I'm still waiting for their response. My question is, now that you said that LMIA is no longer functioning, does it mean it's invalid? It's not invalid. I don't know what you applied for. I would advise that you book a consultation so that we can discuss this at length. We can help you look at, in fact, if you have applied for LMIA, as you said, I as a licensed consultant here can ask for your file. I can ask for your file to see how far the admission process has gone. So I don't know what you have done, but it's better you book a consultation so that we can discuss it at length. You can tell us your story, then we'll be able to advise you on the best way to go about it. But based on what you said, I don't think it's invalid. I don't think so. I doubt it. Can someone see you in your office because I stay at Bodija too? Yes, you can. Yes, you can come to the Bodija office. You can come there. You come there, we'll organize how you see. Yes, you can come to our office and see us there. Yes, very well. You can. How much does TrueLink charge for their service in helping someone get this caregiver job work permit? I charge for getting you a caregiver job I charge for processing this visa for you for the caregiver program. Currently, we charge 4,000 Canadian dollars. But for those that attended this this interactive session, we're going to give you a discount. So if you're registering with us, you would only pay 3,300 Canadian dollars for the processing because you attended this program. So what we charge for the process is 4,000 Canadian dollars. But because you attended this seminar, if you are processing through us, would give you a discount of 700 Canadian dollars. So what you just pay is 3,300 Canadian dollars. And try and understand what that is for. We are not only helping you to get a work permit, we are also helping you to get permanent residence. So it means that for the next 3 years, we are still together. We don't do our own processing. It's not just about getting you into Canada. No, we want to ensure that you settle down. It's when you get the permanent residence that we're happy that yes, we have completed our job. So we are sure that for the next 3 years, we are still working together. So whatever you pay us, the money you are paying us is for the processing for like 3 years, because we are still going to help you after you have accumulated 2 years work permit, 2 years work experience. We'll still help you apply for permanent residence after 2 years, especially if you have your work experience within 2 years. But if you don't have it within 2 years and you have it within 3 years, we'll still come in and help you with that. So our work does not just stop in you coming to Canada now. No, we'll still have to work with you to ensure that you get your permanent residence much later. And definitely that will be like 2 years time, or between 2 and 3 years time. How long must I work as a caregiver before I can change career operation? 2 years, minimum of 2 years. When you work, you must have worked for 2 years. I said it earlier on that the work permit that you are getting is occupation specific. What I mean by that is you can only work as a caregiver. So what I encourage people to do is make sure that within that 2 years you do all you accumulate the 24 months work experience that you must have. Once you have had that, let's help you apply for permanent residence immediately. Once you do that and you get your permanent residence, you can stop working as a caregiver and move to any other thing you want to do. You're free. Once you have permanent residence, there's something you cannot do. It's when you come in on a work permit that you are restricted on what you can do. Work permit is still temporary. Permanent residence is permanent. So you are expected to work in that occupation for that 2 years. But once you've gotten a permanent residence, you can move to any other occupation, or you can go and do anything you want to do at that time. If the caregiver is not living with the employer, does the caregiver need to prove he or she has funds to pay for accommodation? Well, when you are coming in as a caregiver, you already have a job offer. So definitely, if you're not living, you don't need to prove that right now, definitely, but it's good that you show where you're going to stay. You have to make arrangements for where you stay. You can't just come to Canada and not make arrangement of where you're going to stay. So if you're not living with your caregiver, definitely we have our head office in Canada. We can be of help to you in that regard by helping you look for a place and helping you with the groundwork before you come, so that by the time you are coming, you are sure that you have a place that you can put your head. Not that you come and you're just running up and down. So we can actually be of help in that regard. So yes, if you're not with your employer, you need to show that you stay, but you don't need to show proof of funds for that. I don't think so. No. You have a job already. The job has stated that you are earning this amount and that the contract is for this length of time. That's enough evidence to show that you have the resources to do what you want to do. So we can help with that. How much is the processing fee? I mentioned that earlier on. Do I need EC and IELTS for this package? I'm sure this person just joined. Yes, you need it. I said it earlier on, but IELTS is low band. Is CLB5. CLB5 is having 4. If you are doing IELTS, it's having 4 in reading, 5 in listening, 5 in speaking, and 5 in writing. That's CLB5. For ECA, yes, you must do ECA also. What are some of the requirements the employers must have before seeking for a caregiver? The employer must be able to pay you. If you are living in the employer's home, you must have a room for you to stay. And even that room that you want to stay, there are rules that guide all that. We know about all that. So when you return a service, will help you with all that. So the room that you must stay, there are rules that guide the room. There are rules about the lock on the door. There are rules about the window. There's so many rules that guide all that. So you can be sure that once you return our services or you book a consultation, we'll tell you all those details in depth. How much is your total package after paying for consultation? I mentioned that earlier. I said we charge $4,000, but for those that attend this presentation, you pay 3,300 Canadian dollars, not US dollars, please. Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars is cheaper than US dollars. How is 30 minutes enough to discuss at length and assess one profile? Time flies. I can tell you that we have done so many of them. We have done so many, and we have done them in 30 minutes. Yes, we have. So it's actually enough. But if you need more time, we can be flexible with that. We can be flexible with that. So if you book a conversation, we'll sit down and discuss. But it's also good to have written out all the questions you want to ask, so we can just go straight to the point. And I'm sure that we can achieve a lot in 30 minutes. Can men apply for this program? Yes, men can apply. It's not a women program alone, or it's not specific to women. Men can also apply. What about language tests? Does the program require high IELTS? I've answered that earlier on. What's minimum processing time? I answered that also, 12 months. Can my fiance and I apply? And can we be posted in the same area? Yes, both of you can apply. Can my fiance and I apply? No, sorry, you can't apply with your fiance. You need to be married. Or if you are in a common law relationship. What's the meaning of common law? Common law is you are not married, but you are living together with someone and you have lived with that person for 1 year. You can actually apply. But if it's a fiance and you are not living together, no, that's not a valid relationship. But if you are in a common law relationship where you have lived with that person for 1 year, you have lived together, you share bills or you do things together, and you live together for 1 year, that's a requirement, but you're not married, yes, you can apply together. Can we be posted to the same area? Well, you will decide that. If you get the profile in the same area, definitely yes. Can a relative who has 3 children under age 6 sponsor one? Can a relative who has 3 children under age 6 sponsor one? Please, I need more clarification on this question. Can a relative who has 3 children sponsor one of them? Where is the relative? Is relative in Canada or what? Please, I need more clarification on this question so I can answer it. The question is not clear. Can a relative who has 3 children under age 6 sponsor one of them? Where's relative? Is relative in Canada or in Nigeria or in UK? Where I need to. I'm not. This question is not very clear, so I can't answer the question right now. But let me talk about sponsorship. Well, I'm aware of sponsorship. You can sponsor your spouse. You can sponsor your parents. You can sponsor your children also. If your children are outside Canada and you meet the minimum requirements, you can sponsor them. There are criteria that you have to meet. It depends. There are so many. This question is so wide that it has so many angles. But if you are a bit specific, I might be able to just answer your specific question. Do I need external entry or high IELTS for this category? Yes, you need IELTS, but you don't need external entry at all. You don't need external entry for this category, but you need IELTS. Yes. What is your success rate on caregiver program? Well, we are licensed. We're licensed immigration consultants. We have an head office in Canada and we have a branch office in Nigeria. We have assisted a lot of people migrate to Canada. We have also done caregiver programs in the past. So if you are eligible for the program and it's almost certain that you would get a good result. I'll explain why. The process I will follow gives you the process that will follow in assessing you first before we start the program or before we start the processing helps us to determine your eligibility from the beginning. And that's why I said it's good that you book a consultation so that we can actually assess you individually. So we can give you professional advice on your profile. If you do that from the beginning, we will know if you are good to go or you're not good to go. So if we have done that from the beginning, we are sure that any application that we are putting forward, we are putting our best foot forward. We are sure of what we are putting forward also. And we are sure that we should get a good result. There are other factors that could disqualify, as I said earlier, medical and criminal admissibility. But in terms of you meeting the minimum requirements, if you meet the requirement for this program and you process your appointment through us, our success rate is going to be very high because we are sure that from the beginning, we are sure that you meet the minimum requirement and we'll look at your forms, all the things that you need to fill. would have looked at it very well to ensure that there are no errors or there are any issues with what you are presenting forward. And all the documents that you need to add to it, we are sure that you have added it to it. And anything that we're going to envisage that the officer may hacks, would have taken that in a authorized opinion letter that we're going to add to your application. So once we have done all that, we are sure that we would have done the right thing from our hand. And once we have done the right thing from our hand, the likelihood of you getting your visa is very high. We are sure that we will not leave any stone unturned to ensure that you get a positive result. So when we have done what we should do, and you are medically admissible, you are not criminally inadmissible also, and you get a job offer, a genuine job offer, and everything is in place, the chance of you getting a visa here is very high. Someone said, does one need an offer of employment from the employer for this program? Yes, you need an offer of employment. We said that earlier. You need that. Can you help with employment offer? If yes, what is your charges for this? We don't charge for employment offer. We guide you to get one. We link you up with sites. We link you up with employers who might be willing to take you. So we don't charge for that. We only charge. We charge. You pay us retainer fee for helping with the process. We don't charge you to get an employment offer. We don't do that. We're not a recruitment agency, but we guide you on what you need to do to ensure that you get a job offer. That's what we'll do for you. For someone who's applying for authority visa using your services, can we at the same time apply for this pilot? Yes, you can apply for it if you're eligible for that. You can apply for it. Does this program have programs? Does this program have an advantage over PNP? PNP is Provincial Nomination Program. Yeah, it has an advantage because one, it has lower, I said it earlier, low high IELTS requirements. What you need for IELTS is level CLB 5, which is 4 in reading, 5 in listening, 5 in writing and speaking. So that's quite very low. So that's one advantage. Then or PNP, you can come with your family. It's also you can come with your family. I think that's the main advantage that it has, that it has lower requirements and it also gives you a similar result, which is permanent residence at the end of the day. So it's it has a lower whatever. Does it mean that one needs to renew the terms of employment after 5 years in case one is unable to get PR after 2 years? No, it's a pilot program. That's why you're getting a work permit for 3 years. After 3 years, if you are not able to become a permanent resident, you are likely going to go back to your country. So that's why the government says that after 2 years, you are expected to, you are supposed to have accumulated the 24 months work experience in 2 years. Then you can now apply for permanent residence. They give an allowance of 1 extra year that, okay, just in case you travel back to your country, or you did some things, or you have some issues, you didn't have an employer at the time, you still have an extra year to ensure that you accumulate the 24 months work experience. So if you are not able to get it within that 3 years, the chances that you go back to your country is very high. So it's not about 5 years that you renew it after 5 years. For this program, it's a 5-year pilot program. So it's not this, what you wrote here will not be valid. Now after 5 years, can you renew? No. So you need to work, and that's why I said earlier that we will work with you to ensure that you get the work permit now, you get the 3 years work permit now, and we'll follow you up during the process within that 2 years to ensure that you are still meeting up the requirements for PR, because we know that the best thing that you can ever get is getting your PR. We'll follow you up in between, and when it's 2 years, we'll follow you up to ensure that we complete the process for you. So what you are paying us is not just for getting you a work permit, we're also helping you after the 2 years and within that 3 years to ensure that you get your permanent resident visa and you also become a permanent resident of Canada. Can the transcript of this video be provided for us, please, especially concerning the rules for us to apply? Yeah, this is a Facebook Live. Can the transcript of this video be provided for us, especially concerning the rules for us to apply? Look into that. We'll talk with our IT people and see what we can do on that. What is the proof of fund required for this program? For the caregiver program, you don't need to show proof of funds. Because you are coming to work and you already have a job offer, you do not need proof of funds. So proof of funds is not needed for this program at all. All you just need to do is get a job offer and once you get a job offer, it's fine. So I just remember someone asked a question earlier saying, what is the advantage of this over PMP? The other advantage of this over PMP also is that you don't need to get proof of funds. For PMP, Promotion Nomination Program, you need to show that you have funds for yourself and your family members. But this one does not require that you show proof of funds for the process, because you already have the job offer. And if you are coming with your family, your spouse will get an open work permit that also allows them to work. So proof of fund is not needed in this instance. Yeah, can a relative who is a permanent resident of Canada, okay, who has children with the youngest 3 years, sponsor someone in Nigeria? Yes, you can. For this program, yes, you can. Children, if you have children below 18 years, yes. If the person asks, can a relative who is a permanent resident of Canada who has children with the younger 3 years sponsor someone? It depends on, sorry, if you are talking of sponsorship, who is the person sponsoring? If we're talking about you saying the person giving one a caregiver job offer, yes, it's possible. But if you are talking about sponsorship, I need to understand what you mean by sponsorship. Then who is the person sponsoring? I also need to know. But if it's for this caregiver program we're talking about, yes, someone that has a child that is that the youngest child is 3 years. Yeah, when you have a child that is 3 years, you need to care for the child. And if your parents go to work, the husband goes to work, the wife goes to work, they need someone to take care of the kids at home instead of taking them to daycare. So many people prefer to bring in someone to stay at home and take care of their kids than taking them to daycare. And that's why many people bring in their parents, their mother-in-law, even father-in-laws to come around and stay with them so that they can help them take care of their kids. So yes. Someone said, is your service charge paid at once? No, it's not paid at once. I told you we'll break it down for you. You pay instrumentally. You're not going to pay it at once. You're going to pay bit by bit. We're going to break it down for you. Our internship agreement will write all that. Would tell you pay at different times, predetermined dates during the process. So you two would have seen what we have done by the time you are actually paying the balance, or you're going to pay in like 3 or 4 installments. So we'll break it down for you so that you can pay at different times within the process. Is this program ID for a man of 41 years, or can you recommend another? Well, I said earlier on that you need to be assessed. Well, okay, let me explain something to us also. For this program, for this particular program, you need to book a consultation for us to assess you. But if you want us to assess you free of charge for some other programs, you can go to our website, truelinktravel.com. The true does not have an E. TRULINK truelinktravel.com. If you go to our website, you on the homepage you will see free assessments. Just click on the free assessment button and fill the free assessment. Once you fill that free assessment, we'll see your profile. We can assess you free of charge. Not for this program, please. This program requires that you book a consultation. The assessment that you are doing on our website is not for the caregiver program. The caregiver program has specific and different requirements from the general assessment on our website. So if you want assessment for other programs, just go to our website, www.truelinktravel.com. I said the true does not have an E. TrueLink, you can look at our name, truelinktravel.com. When you go to that website, you will be able to fill the free assessment. Okay, let me type our website here. So you all have it, www.truelinktravel.com. I just posted the website down here, so you see it now. When you get to that website, look for free assessments. When you see the free assessment button, just click on it and fill the forms. When you submit it, we'll get back. One of our consultants will see it, review your profile, and get back to you. And we'll be able to assess you, but not for this program. For other programs that we have that you might be able for. So what you ask, can you recommend one? Please, Mr. Michael, please fill the free assessment on our website, and we'll be able to assess you and get back to you on that. Can one study and work under this program? You can study and work, but I said earlier on that you can only study if your study program is less than 6 months. This program is a full-time work. Full-time work is 30 hours per week. So for you to qualify under the for you to apply for permanent residence, you must show proof that you have done 30 hours, minimum of 30 hours per week. So you cannot study without a study permit in Canada if your program is more than 6 months. So if you have a program of study that is more than 6 months, you must apply for a study permit. You can't go and school. You can't go and school without you getting a study permit. But if the program you are going for is less than 6 months, yes, you can actually school without you applying for a study permit. Do we need to submit proof of experience with claim, like reference letters from previous employer? Is this a requirement that if the previous job was voluntary service? I said earlier on that there are different categories of work experience. So if you don't have if you have any work experience at all, you can apply. If you have paid work experience, you can apply. If you have paid work experience, you can apply. But definitely, if you want to prove to the officer that you have work experience in this field, then you must get a reference letter from your previous employer to show, or your current employer to show that you have done this job in the past, or you have experience in this job. How much is your consultation fees? I said that earlier. It's $80, or if they are paying in naira, it's 25,000 naira. What's the payment plan for retaining your services? We can discuss once you book an appointment or a consultation with us. We can discuss the payment plan with you. We're also very flexible in that terms. We can discuss with you. Look at your. We'll discuss together and agree on a payment plan. But I've said earlier on that we'll break it down into bits so that you pay in installments, and you may not even feel that you've made any payment. Can 24-month experience needed for PR be gotten from different employers within the 3 years? Yes, it can be gotten from different employers within 3 years. Yes, you can. You can get, if you get to Canada now and you have a client, you have someone who gave you a job offer, you go to Canada, maybe the person abusing you, or you're not okay, you don't like the job, you can leave. As long as once you get another job, you're okay. As long as you get another employer that will give you a job offer, you're okay. And that's why they gave allowance of an extra 1 year. They know that one or two people may have EUs within 2 years. They may not be able to get 2 years straight work experience. So the government gave an extra 1 year allowance so that they can assist those who have EUs with their employment, or maybe those that traveled home back to do 1 or 2 things at home. You don't have the 2 years, at least you have some extra time to get more experience and ensure that it sums up to the 2 years that you need to apply for permanent residence. Can my spouse visit me later if he is not coming with me now? Will he get a work permit? Yes, your spouse can come with you, so he will get a work permit. Will help you do all that once you return our services. Anyone can change employer at will. Yes, you can. You can change employer at will. You can. Very well with this new program. That's the good thing about this program. Unlike the previous one that was employer specific. The previous one you can't change employer. You cannot change employer at all. If an employer sponsors you, or if an employer gives you a job offer, you must stay with the employer. But this new one allows you to change employer. So if you get to Canada with an employer and you're not okay with the employer, or the employer is maltreating you, you can always move to someone else or get someone else. Does this program favor applicants with certain educational qualification? No, I don't think so. The minimum requirement is 1 year post-secondary education. So if you have that, you are eligible. It doesn't really favor educational qualification. The one that may favor those, the one that may favor those with certain educational qualification may be the home support worker. For the support worker category, especially if you are working with people that are sick, or the sick people, if you have a medical degree or related qualification in medical, that might actually favor you. I just think so, since you require that skill to be able to work in those places. How long does experience for this program takes? 12 months. 12 months, 1 whole year. That's the time it takes to process it. Why is this assessment different from the other programs? Well, it's different because it's a different program entirely. It's a different program entirely. It has its own unique characteristics and unique features. So it's different. And why it's different is because we don't want you to go, we don't want you to pay for a service, and at the end of the day, after 12 months, you are not now eligible, or they refuse your visa because you are not eligible. It doesn't make sense. So we need to be sure from the beginning that you are eligible for the program. We need to not only sure, we need to be very sure. So our consultants here would assess your profile. They will discuss with you also, look at your CV, look at a lot of things to confirm that yes, you're eligible. Once you're eligible, yes, we can now go on with the process. So that's one of the reasons why it's different from the other assessments. But you can always fill the free assessment for this one. You can always fill the free assessment for the other program. I mean, but for this program, for you to start, you need to book a consultation to discuss your individual assessment. What is the name of this program? The name of the program, I mentioned it earlier, the Canada Caregiver Program. Canada Caregiver Program. It's the new pilot program, the new 5-year pilot program. I said there are two categories. We have the home support worker category, and we also have the home child care provider pilots. So there are two types. Those are the two types for this category for the caregiver program that Canada is running right now: the home support worker category and the home child care provider pilots. Those are the two categories that they have. My fiance and I have been living over a year and yet to get married. Hope we can apply. Yes, if you have lived over a year with your fiance, that's a common law, and if you have evidence of all that, you can actually apply. So I think I've answered all the questions. Yes. Okay, what is the age limit? There's no age limits. No official age limits. No official age limits, but definitely the most important thing is you showing and proving that you can do the job. You need to show and prove that you can do the job. So no official age limit, as long as you can. We have caregivers who are elderly. Yeah, we have caregivers who are elderly. We have caregivers who are young. So as long as you can prove that, okay, I can do this job, you're good to go. So I would write our website again for those that are just joining our website. You can go to our website and see a lot of things. TrueLinkTravel.com. For those that you can also follow us on Facebook at our Facebook handle is at TrueLink Travel. At TrueLink Travel. At TrueLink Travel. That's our Facebook page. Or TrueLink Immigration Services. TrueLink Immigration Services. I'm typing it out for us so you can have it. Then her Instagram page is also at TrueLink Travel. Instagram, follow us at TrueLink Travel. Then our YouTube page is TrueLink Travel. There are so many things that you can also read on. There are so many videos that you can also watch on our YouTube channel. It's TrueLink Travel. TrueLink Travel. So follow us on all these channels, and I'm sure that you would learn a lot, and also get to know a lot of things that we're doing. There's so many programs that we're still going to talk about. We're going to be doing this every week, but we'll send out the topic so you see. Next week we'll have a similar seminar. I will talk on something else entirely. You can also call us. You can call us in Canada here or in Nigeria. Our Canada number is 780-250-7011. Then our Nigeria number is 09087416444 and 09087416445. You can also chat us up on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number it's +1 587 568 6124. So you can use any of the channels to reach us and or ask your questions. I said earlier on, if you want to book a consultation, you can call us. Okay, I have more questions there. You can call us. You can ask us on WhatsApp, or you can go to our website and book a consultation. Anyone you want to do, you can do that. Someone said, does that have any effect on the caregiver patient? What is that? Which one? Okay, does anyone actually look at other plan one has applied for when processing caregiver? Well, it depends. I need to understand what you have applied to be able to give advice on that. If I understand what applications you have done, I'll be able to advise you. I cannot advise you on this because I need to know what you have done. If you book a consultation, I'll be able to listen to you. Then on that basis, I'll be able to advise you and tell you the best way to go about it. If you don't need to apply for this, I'll tell you. If you need to apply for this, I'll tell you about that. So it's better you book a consultation so that we can discuss that. So someone asked for our WhatsApp number. I've sent it before. Our WhatsApp number is +1. I'll write it again. +1 587 568 6124. That's our WhatsApp number. 5+1 587 568 6124. So thank you all for joining us during this session. For those that want to book a consultation, you can call us or go to our website, book the consultation, or send us a WhatsApp chat. We'll reply you. Or go to our website, you can do that. So you can call. Or you can even visit our office, either in Canada or in Nigeria. We'll be there to guide you through the process. Thank you for attending this session. Look forward to seeing you very soon in Canada, because I'm sure that if you return our services, we'll definitely help you, guide you, and ensure that you achieve your goal. Thank you.